art, writing and helping other people and what I've got to play with and what I've got to eat. Say if I'm stuck on something, he'll help me and say thank you afterwards.
My mum, for the world, because we wouldn't be here if there weren't a world.
Gratitude we've found to be a very interesting concept to look at, but it also has a lot of psychological benefits which are positive to both the recipient and the receiver. Gratitude is related to decreased stress, it's related to subjective well-being, so it can make you feel happier. It's also related to decreased symptoms of depression. So there's a lot of benefits to why you might want to both experience gratitude and also give to other people.
I was a very unruly, difficult child who got up to all sorts of things. And it stayed that way for a number of years, very often leading me into trouble with the police. I will always be grateful for those individual teachers that had an impact, an amazing impact on my life, and I'm forever grateful. I remember their names still, I can picture them still. You know, my life has always really since then been guided by wanting to give back to what I was given, and that's been a fundamental principle and philosophy of my life.
Both my parents are teachers, and throughout kind of my whole childhood, that was kind of my path. It was predestined for me, I'm going to be a teacher. And then when I got to university, I was kind of really into politics, really into kind of social change and what can I do to make the world better. But I still had this niggling thing in the back of my head of teaching. And then I was so lucky that when I was at university, in between my third and fourth year of university, I saw an advert for Teach First in the paper and just thought, that sounds perfect because I can be a teacher, which is kind of what I'd always wanted to do, but I didn't admit it, and kind of do the social change stuff and do something, you know, to help society, which is what I really wanted to do. And yeah, it has completely changed my life. You know, I'm a completely different person having done Teach First to what I was before. But I'm so grateful for it because I think if it weren't for Teach First, I wouldn't have become a teacher. And I just love the job. I love everything about it. I love working in the community here. I was just incredibly lucky with my education, and it's just trying to bring a bit of that to them, I guess.
There's a lot of research that suggests that the gratitude is one of those values that allows you to go beyond yourself to benefit people in the community or society as a whole.
We actually asked the schools to go out and source a local charity. So we're not interested in the big national charities. We really want those grassroots charities, the ones that operate from people's garages, the ones that people do alongside their full-time jobs whilst they're looking after their families, whilst they're full-time carers. So it really is the charities that £3,000 will make a massive difference to.
You know, even if it's not much money to charity, it's just developing an attitude amongst young people that, you know, it's good to give and it's good to you know, be a benefit to the wider society.
Every single child in the year group chose a charity, chose an issue that was important to them, made a presentation, and you know, the response from the charities has just been absolutely lovely too. I've received some brilliant, you know, just the sweetest emails, letters, and they're just so grateful. Even those who didn't win, just, you know, for being spoken about, for the children talking about their issues.
I think it's fantastic young people take an interest in stepping stones, because our whole ethos is about empowering people to live their lives to the full. So this is another way of children and young people here being empowered to live their lives to the full and to join in with other things in their localish community.
being grateful reminds people that they're not the sole authors of their own success, that we've all got people to thank that are part of our story. And I think that awareness makes people more inclined to want to give something back.
Both my parents were public servants. They both worked all hours, God sent, and I suppose they brought me up with a sense that if you've got a shred of talent, if you've got a shred of anything that you can give back, then you're duty bound to do it, to give back what you can. And my mum tragically died of cancer at the age of 52. My mum fought cancer for about 6 or 7 months. She was obviously determined to stay one last Christmas with us, and she passed away in the early hours of Boxing Day that morning. And so that obviously was a profound shock for me. It was a profound shock for my family. But the lesson that it left me with is that, you know, we're not here forever. And if you think you want to change something, don't put the day off. Get on with it.
I've always, ever since I was a young boy, I've worked for a charity. I tried to support the community. And my parents taught me that. It's something that I hope that my children also will learn to do. And that's always the principle that's driven my life, really, is when somebody's in need, if I can, go and help them. Because at the end of the day, if I was ever in need, I would want them to reciprocate and to do the same to me.
Alcoa has a mandate that each plant manager will work with his team of people on the locations to contribute back into the community. We have the Alcoa Foundation, which is a registered charity which sort of facilitates that. Alcoa do promote a monthly service, which is October, where people are encouraged from every location to go out and get involved in all sorts of activities. And it's something that we do from this site throughout the year. It's not a one-off thing. We don't want to be seen as a factory that just has lorries coming in and out of there causing some inconvenience to the local community. We actually want to contribute and want to have a good reputation in the community.
International school, yeah, we're very close partners, yeah. They wanted to sort of enhance their library and make it a softer environment for kids to go and just sit with books. So we went to Jim Wallace and said, we want some money, and he funded sort of a reading chair, which is one of these big chairs, you know, that you sit in. And I love it when you go into a school and that they really appreciate what we're doing.
As head teacher of the school, I've always taken every opportunity to work with the local community. Unemployment has always been very high in this area, and levels of deprivation have always been very high in this area as a consequence of worklessness and so on. I think that's, you know, been generation after generation for many years in this community. We work very closely with a number of local primary schools. Shystone is one of them, and you know, we continue to take students from Shystone.
Shystone have been very engaged in the community programme, the Young People's Forum, which has an attached citizenship module. So the children will study all aspects of citizenship. They will come along and present their aspect of the project that they've been doing, and then together the whole forum will decide on the next step in terms of what they're going to do. They also get to meet at that forum pivotal people in the community. So for instance, there'll be a school nurse. Sometimes we have a dragon's den who decide the best ideas that the children present. They get to talk to these people about their role and what is actually possible, isn't possible. And again, the fact that Liam decided to come along and give that time, because I know it was very difficult for him. He's got such a prominent role. And the questions they were asking were surprisingly thoughtful and reflective and challenging for Liam on some occasions. And we would definitely repeat it.
Well, all companies have an impact on the communities that surround them, but when you're an airport, that impact is quite significant with noise and traffic implications and all the other issues that people are familiar with having an airport on their doorstep. There's also some positive impacts that we can have, and that's where I come in, and it's about how we invest in the local community, how we support the local community to grow and develop.
Andy Holding, the Community Affairs Manager at the airport, has just given so much to us in terms of support, ideas, even though no one has money particularly anymore. It's managed to buy us all our trophies for our new sporting league, and Andy will come along, support that, there'll be photographs, and this again will create a higher profile for our new sporting events, get children engaged in something really positive.
This idea that people who were the recipients of benefits want to pass those benefits on, not necessarily to the people who benefited them in the first place, but if you like, it's a tide of goodwill really that kind of comes in the wake of gratitude. And so I think the link between gratitude and service is very strong.
And we've been involved with a number of projects with the International School. In particular, we have a scheme which insulates school buildings.
We were able to secure £150,000 funding, match funding with the airport.
So we tend to work with the schools to concentrate on key areas of the school building so that they can insulate them effectively against aircraft noise.
The airport have helped to fund the replacement of the windows, and now, certainly the front of the school, we have new windows, which has really made a difference to the front aspect of the school.
It's our responsibility to give something back to that community, not as a solution, it doesn't stop the noise, but it's a way of recognising that we do impact them, and it's the responsible thing to be doing, to give something back.
People seem to say that yes, gratitude, one, it is important, two, it needs to be promoted more, and the ways that could be done could be through schools, could be through community projects, could be through public policy. These are the kinds of ways in which people actually would like to see gratitude be promoted.
Developing self-confidence, developing communication skills, developing that sense of self-worth that an understanding of things like gratitude can really help with. That's really important, and it's frankly it's as important for many people as what they learn in textbooks and what they study for in exams.
These students are coming from all kinds of backgrounds, and I really, really strongly believe, and I really hope that we as teachers and as the senior leaders in the school can really give these students the best education that they really, really do deserve.
Even if you start out with very little, it's so important to be able to give back to the community, because I've received so much with with my education and everything like that that's helped me to become a better person and have the skills and abilities to give back. So it's why I really should.